What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Zebec today, ZBCN. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you all for being here. It's the 27th day of January, and here we are sitting at about $0.0027 with roughly 8 hours and 7 minutes left in the day. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here, and let's get into it. Okay, here we are. Not doing a whole lot, just more of the same. I mean, really, I could have not made a video since the 8th of January, maybe even the 4th of January. It would be at the exact same place here. We have pulled back. We've done a lot since then. It's not like we've just moved directly sideways, but effectively. There was a point on the 4th of January where this was actually a price to get hyped up about. People were excited. We just pumped 10% on the day. Yay, that was good. Now we're too good for this price, right? Here we are, in my opinion, not looking the best. It's almost kind of like you have a head and shoulders pattern here. Almost. It's almost like that. I wouldn't call it a head and shoulders. The right shoulder's too weird. Let's look at the volume. Let's even see if that checks out. If the volume checks out, maybe we'll give it more of a nod of approval. The volume doesn't check out. Volume on a head and shoulders pattern, you look for this, right? You don't look for. And let me just show you the difference here, right? So what we're seeing here is not this. It looks like that from here. What we're actually seeing is this, right? We're seeing this, and that's not head and shoulders volume. Volume, it should just be slowly dying off from the start of this shoulder to that shoulder. It should be dying off, and it's not doing that. So it doesn't have to be that way, but typically whenever you see volume like this, that just tells you it's not a head and shoulders pattern. But then also the shoulder itself just doesn't look complete. It looks completely incomplete. So all in all, it does have a kind of bearish appearance, is all I'm trying to say. And with that, maybe we do have to brace for impact to some degree. From a low to a high, here we are at the golden ratio. We bounced here on the first day, thought we'd get a reaction, and we did, but then we rejected back down, and we've rejected twice now. It makes me think that we will go lower. Maybe you get a sweep and you fake out your lows and then you rip to the upside. Maybe you go down to your 786, 886 zone. I can't imagine we go below this low, but at this point in time, 00252 to 00241 kind of sounds appealing. Let's look at the short-term data. Let's look at the indicators and see if that remains the same. Again, there's some people who watch the video up to this point, they leave and they think they know what my opinion is. I'm just giving you off the first look opinion right off the bat, but we're going to do the refined analysis starting now. So let's get into it, okay? 1 hour time frame here. Looking at this, you picked up a little bit of volume as you were coming down. That's not good. Volume's dying off, but you're flat with decreasing highs. That's also not good. I mean, volume should die off if you're about to break out. And this looks like you're going to break out to the downside. That definitely doesn't look good to me. I would think that we do break out to the downside. 1 hour time frame, the RSI sucks, the stochastics suck, and so does the MACD. Going lower seems inevitable at this point, right? Doesn't mean that it has to happen. I've been wrong before. I can be wrong again. Absolutely. I'm not saying sell by any means. This, from here to here, is not worth selling. And if we were going to drop hardcore, okay, maybe. But I think it might be worth waiting to buy, maybe. That's kind of my thought there. If we were to find support in this area, imagine here we had our low, and what I was thinking was we'd get a fake out and then bounce back up. It looked like that for a second, but now what we're doing is not fake out behavior. What we did actually was back test prior support for resistance, and we found resistance several times. And now we're grinding out this support zone, which should have sent us higher, and it's not. It hasn't for the last few times. It just makes me think we're going to break down. So prepare for that. That actually does make a lot of sense. That is the call at this point. 4 hour RSI looks bearish. Stochastics are bearish. The MACD is deceitful. It looks like it has bullish divergence. Just because it has higher lows does not mean it's bullish divergence. It's not bullish divergence. It's overall very bearish. Daily time frame looking at this, pretty bearish on the stochastics. Pretty bearish. I would say there's bullish prospects here on the daily MACD. This is what gives me confidence that you will prevail from this to the upside. And the RSI overall is pretty neutral as well. So you get to you zoom out a little bit, things look a little bit better. I still believe that we go down a little bit though. Let's look, maybe we should use a different fib. Let's just see. What about a high to low instead of a low to high? What if we drop all the way down to the 069, the pink line? There's been a lot of cryptos that have been finding support right there recently. I mean, maybe we go down to 00248. Maybe that's exactly what happens. If not, I would expect, from a low to a high, anything from 00241 to 00252, something in that area. to provide support. If I'm wrong, then I would still expect that we take out these lows. Maybe it's just a sweep and then we pump up from there. It's like a fake out, a true fake out. That'd be great. But at this point, I'm calling for this area because that's where my confidence lies. From there, we find support, and then we should be rallying. The fact that Zebec has not pumped should not concern you. I get that it's concerning. I get that you have anxieties because Zebec's not at $1 billion already. But I still believe that it's at a very opportunistic moment here. And while other cryptos are moving up, or at least not moving down, the ones that are the best to invest in are the ones that are moving down, that are good projects like ZBCN. And I do think that this will recover. I do think that we'll see new all-time highs and all that stuff. It's just taking a little longer than originally anticipated. But one thing's for sure. At this point, it seems as though this was a bit of a fake out. So come back down, validate that we're not breaking down, validate that we have a higher low, try again, and then maybe this time we'll have a little bit more momentum and that will send us higher. But at this point, I'm thinking it'll be sometime in the heart of February before we have any chance of getting above this high. And likely over this next week, over the coming days, we probably do pursue prices to the downside. The reaction can be very quick from there. We have seen quick reactions plenty of times. Plenty of times. Sometimes those quick reactions take 3 or 4 days before you actually start to make a move, right? But plenty of times when Zebec finds its low, man, even if it's going to find a lower low afterwards, it pumps. It pumps pretty immediately. You don't really spend too much time doing stuff like this anymore. So I think we're going to go, again, that kind of even reinforces the idea that this is not the low. We're probably not at the low here because of the weak reactions we're having. Just because we're going, I'm expecting us to go down here, does not mean that we're going to stay here forever. And I am calling for us to get above this high probably some point in the middle of February. But again, these reactions can be faster. So we'll take it as it comes. We'll see how it goes. But for the moment, we are momentarily slightly bearish. Sorry. Just enough to go down a little bit. Provide better buying prices for the move up that's going to come inevitably. The weekly RSI, hold on guys. The weekly RSI, yeah, we're good. Lower highs here, that's a little bit concerning. I'm not going to lie, I don't like that. Like where you found resistance at the 50, at this lower high point, I don't like that. Nope, that's not good. That's not fun. What we need to do is something different, right? Instead of coming down and getting a lower low, we need a higher low. We need something different to show that this rejection is not to be taken seriously. But right now, what I'm seeing is that this rejection should not be taken lightly. If we go down to the oversold zone, you guys, Zebec's in trouble. That's actually big trouble because you would definitely go below these lows. And at that point, are you breaking out of this to the downside? I don't think this is happening. This is not the call that I'm making. I'm just saying overall, on your weekly RSI, it is a little point of concern. It is a little point of concern. Now, with that being said, you got overbought twice, technically. And you rejected the overbought zone. You got deep in the overbought zone. You found support at the 40. As long as you hold this as your low, and again, you get higher lows, this can be a non-concerning high. But it's going to take some time before we validate that. So just hold your ground, more or less. Keep your higher lows in your price. And hopefully we get a sharp reaction once we get down there to the upside. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I fully expect that Zebec right now is finding support at prior resistance here, prior resistance back here, finding support all throughout the zone, and we will prevail to the upside and probably move up to about a 3 to 4.5 cent price when it's all said and done, sometime between now and the end of March. Hit that like button, subscribe. Take care. Thank you all. Bye-bye.